Now, question of the day. How can find the magnitude of frictional force and acceleration of the block? Here, horizontal force 100 Newton on the 5 kg block. Mu s and mu k, coefficient of static friction and coefficient of kinetic friction is given, is 0.4 and 0.3. Look here, how can determine? First of all, make free body diagram of 5 kg block. Okay, how many force act on 5 kg block? Direct contact force 100 Newton force, horizontal direction, like that one. Okay, then normal force applied by wall on 5 kg block, N1, that force is N1. Okay, how many contact force? Simply two forces, 100 Newton and normal force applied by wall on 5 kg block. Now indirect contact force, only due to gravity, it is always work on downward direction, so 5 into G. And now another contact force also work, frictional force. Which direction? Decided by motion is going on in this direction. Clear? So if motion is going on this direction, so first of all, this one is a wall, that one is a wall. It means this block is not going on X capital, you can say that in X direction. The possibility of motion in which direction? Y direction. Okay, so according to Newton's second law, net force in X direction is how much? 0. Okay, so you can say that N1 this will be equal to how much? 100 Newton. So N1 is how much? 100 Newton. Now frictional force work in which direction? Always opposite to the applied force. Okay, applied force is here, like that one. So frictional force develop in this direction, that is F. Okay, now motion is possible or not, decided by limiting frictional force. So first of all, what about limiting friction? FL, this will be equal to mu s into N1. So mu s is how much? 0.4 into N1 is how much? 100. So that is 40 Newton. Clear? This one is a 40 Newton. Limiting frictional force is how much? 40 Newton. And what about kinetic frictional force? Fk, this will be equal to mu k into N1. So 0.3 into N1 is how much? Finally we got how much? 30 Newton. Clear? So coefficient of kinetic friction is 30 Newton. Now motion possible or not, decided by limiting frictional force. Now limiting frictional force is 30 Newton. And what about that one? If suppose that we have considered G, this will be equal to 9.8. Okay, otherwise you can simplicity point of view, you can take let G this be equal to 10. Okay, simplicity point of view, otherwise you can take 9.8. Okay, so 5 into G, 5 into 10, that is 50 Newton. So applied force 50 Newton, applied put 50 Newton and limiting frictional force 40 Newton. It means capital F is greater than FL. It means motion possible in which direction? Downward, because of applied force is greater than frictional force. Clear? So according to Newton's second law, in Y direction, you can say that unbalanced force 50 minus during motion, which frictional force act? Kinetic friction, to Fk. This will be equal to mass into acceleration. So mass into acceleration in Y direction, downward, A. So 5 into A, this will be equal to 50 minus Fk. Fk is how much? Fk is how much? 30 Newton. So 30. So we got how much? 20 Newton. Clear? So A, this will be equal to 4 meter per second square. So acceleration of the block is how much? 4 meter per second square, downward direction. And what about frictional force? During motion, which frictional force act? Kinetic friction. So 30 Newton. So frictional force is 30 Newton and motion of the block in downward direction, how much? 4 meter per second square is the right answer. Make it.